Slide right over. Because we want to keep our cords separate. As we start dancing and moving around, we step and then boom, the whole thing comes down.
I actually ran into an old friend over there.
Nice.
She danced at my mom's studio, graduated with me, but went to Milford. So when I was walking by, she goes, Robert?
What's the last name?
Alexis. I was walking by and I heard Robert, and I was like, what?
So I'm going to go after the national anthem.
Okay.
We're up to 16. Look at that.
Please stand and remove your hats as the Milford Spartan Marching Band plays our national anthem.
It is a crisp and cool Friday night here in southern New Hampshire. Temperatures hovering around 50 degrees. The winds are light and variable. Perfect football weather here on a Friday night light night game here at Milford Spartan Field. Hello, everybody. Kevin St. Onge joining. Robert DeFelice, my color commentator, here in the booth at Spartan Stadium for game number 2 of this COVID-impacted season here in NHIAA Division II West Conference. The Milford Spartans in a neighborhood grudge match hosting the Souhegan Sabres in what should be a very interesting game and a contrast in styles. Robert, we talked to the coaches before the game. Both stressed ball security is going to be very important tonight.
Indeed. It was great catching up with the coaches at the start of the game. I'm very excited to be here, see how the teams match up with each other.
The last year these two teams met October 4th. It was a big night here at Milford Spartan Field. The fence was lined with people 2, 3, 4 deep, celebrating the 35th anniversary of the 1984 state championship team with a halftime celebration. And these two teams didn't disappoint. 46-43 was the score. Neither team played a whole lot of defense, but there was a lot of fumbles and turnovers and so forth. The clock just ran out on the Spartans last year, and the Sabres hung the only regular season loss on the Milford Spartans last year. The Spartans then on their way to an 8-1 regular season, but then lost in the first round of the state playoffs. Sabres went 5-5 and also lost in the first round of the playoffs, but they come into this season senior-heavy team. A contrast from a year ago, Milford had 20-something seniors on their team. This year it's the Sabres.
Well, I got a feeling that if you like offensive football, this is going to be a great game for you to watch as it was last year. But if you're a big defensive football kind of guy, then this one's not going to be the type of matchup for you.
Souhegan won the coin toss already, so they've already got the first win tonight. Milford, however, will receive the ball, and head coach Keith Jones, the legendary one, he of several state championship teams here at Milford, told us before the game he's looking to pound and ground. He's looking to control the clock, figures the Souhegan Sabres can't score if they don't have the ball, which is true as long as his Spartans don't turn it over either.
Indeed. Keith Jones certainly knows what he's doing, especially on the offensive side of the ball, so I have a feeling that if Keith Jones has a plan, he will have no problem executing it.
Unfortunately for the Spartans, they're going to be without their stud running back, junior Caden Zielinski, who was looked primed to have a huge season, albeit an abbreviated season. Heavy contributions last year as a sophomore, but broke his foot in practice on Wednesday. He put up 122 yards against the Hollis Brookline Cavaliers a week ago, but down for the season, so next man up for the Spartans.
Definitely, and that was something we talked about with Keith before the game. He said it's really hard to replace a kid like that, but next man up, they're ready to go without skipping a beat.
Darian Kimball is back deep along with Logan Barnhill, and we'll get you a call on the third man back is Christian Waller. Typically set to kick for the Souhegan Sabres is number 2, their stud running back, Riley Lawhorn. And we're just about ready to get underway here under the lights. It's a beautiful night here in Milford, New Hampshire. The leaves are changing. It's a crisp fall evening, and we are so happy, pandemic permitting, that we are here tonight.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but at a football field on a Friday night.
Riley Lawhorn has it teed up, looking to put his boot into it on his way, and we are underway here at Spartan Field. Ball comes down to Darian Kimball at about the 10-yard line. He's looking to move to the right side, gain the sideline, turns the corners, dragged down from behind, though. Nice little return out to the 20-yard line or so for Darian Kimball.
Yep, and he's brought down by number 33, Tony Granite, junior running back.
So this will give us our first look at super sophomore quarterback Chuck Erda. That's right, another Erda here at the Milford Spartans football program. Seems like there's been an Erda in this program forever. He's the younger brother, of course, of last year's All-State quarterback Gavin Erda. Gavin Erda has moved on to Durham. Will he apply his trade for the Wildcats? Super sophomore Chucky Erda, though, is in at quarterback for the Spartans. And head coach Keith Jones, flexbone offense set to get underway here. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Erda keeps it.
Brought down by a wave of Souhegan Sabres. Looking like the tackle was led by number 2, Riley Lawhorn.
That play got strung out, and Erda really didn't have a good read. He couldn't tuck it up and turn the corner. He also didn't really have a pitch either. Well defended by the Sabres.
One of the matchups I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this game is how the two lines of both teams match up with each other. You know, they're both powerhouse offense and defensive, so definitely going to be a grudge match in the trenches.
Sabres have a lot of seniors along their front their front line, as do the Spartans. These two teams have been playing against, or these players have been playing against each other for many years. They know each other well. Throw the records out, though. Here we go, 2nd and 9.
Swallowed up immediately from the line.
The give was to the fullback, number 24, Connor Graham.
Immediately taken down by Alex Karpowicz. Very quick tackle. Offensive line's going to have to bring in a little bit more than that if they want to be successful in this game.
Loss of 2 yards, 3rd and 11 now for the Spartans. Ball spotted inside the 20-yard line.
Correction, inside the 20. It'll be 3rd and 9 for the Spartans.
Here come the Milford Spartans with a big 3rd down attempt here. Darian Kimball split wide to the left. Trice Cody in the backfield. Pass is intended right now for Barnhill. Barnhill collects it on the sideline. He's got the 1st down, knocked out of bounds. But not before he collects the 1st down. Milford Spartans move the chains on a big 3rd down conversion.
Definitely shook a few tackles in order to get that first, and number 25, Mitch Hosser, finally brings him down, but not before he picks up the 1st down.
Not exactly the type of offense head coach Keith Jones is looking for, but on 3rd and long, he really doesn't have a whole lot of choice. Coach Keith Jones would like to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust 3 times and then make it 4th and short and go for it again and be the riverboat gambler that he is. 1st and 10 for the Spartans at the 33-yard line. Erda under center. Gann behind him. The give is to Gann up the middle. Nice little pickup here where he's met by the entire defensive line of the Souhegan Sabres.
Led by number 59, Nathan Fritz on the tackle. You know, they packed the box on that play, probably 5 or 6 coming off on the rush, so still not bad pickup for that.
You got to love what the offensive line did for the Spartans on that play. Fired off the ball, made some space, and allowed Connor Gann to fill that space and move the ball forward. 2nd and 4 will be the play upcoming here as the Spartans are looking to keep the ball on the ground, run the clock, keep the Souhegan Sabres from playing as many offensive plays as possible. Erda keeps it, looks to pass, overthrows Logan Barnhill. So that ball falls incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
2 passes already on the first drive from Keith Jones.
Got to wonder if head coach Keith Jones was sandbagging all of us with this ground and pound, but we'll have to see how this plays out a little bit.
Didn't want anyone to know what was up his sleeve.
I think down distance and time of game will, determine more than anything what he will call. Kimball split to the left. Trice Cody to the right.
Looks like Souhegan's coming with 6 off the ball here.
Looks like Erda kept it. He faked it to the dive back, Gann, I believe, but Erda kept it, followed him through the hole. Really close to a first down. We're going to have to wait for the officials to spot this ball. Maybe just short. Ball spotted at the 42. They needed to reach the 43. That's a 4th down and short. Head coach Keith Jones electing, at least so far, to go for it. In his own territory, early in a game, against a team that's expected to score a lot of points.
There should be a big play for both sides of the ball. It could set the tone for the entire game.
A year ago, this would have gone to Junior Ugo, the punishing fullback, but nope, Charlie Erda keeps it up the middle, falling forward, definitely has enough for the first down, as helmets are flying off the players here on this particular play.
It will be enough for a first down.
Milford picks up their first down and moves the chains and keeps the clock running here in the early going. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line.
And because his helmet came off, Souhegan's going to have to play this next play without Dexter Healy, one of the anchors of their defensive line. So hopefully the next man up can fill that spot in quick.
Erda under center. The give is up the middle. Looks like Barnhill carried up the middle. We'll have to wait till they unpile a little bit. Nope, that's Gann again. Gann up the middle for the Spartans with a short gain.
Brought down by number 69, Jackson Weisberg. Looks like they didn't have any problems there on that play without Dexter Healy.
Healy's back in the game, though. Big man anchoring the center of that defensive line for the Sabres. Kimball comes to the right side. Tight end Noah Santos on the left edge. Trice Cody flanked off of him. Erda gives it to the second man through. He's met, stopped for no gain. Logan Barnhill stood up at the line, maybe fell forward for a little bit, but that brings up 3rd down and looks like 8.
Looks like Souhegan's coming in hard at them already, packing at least 5 or 6 in the box every single play, trying to really stop that run game of Milford.
46-yard line.
Into the game is number 33, Chris Kostafis, seeing his first action, I believe, for tonight.
So what do you think? We'll see a pass on this play?
You never know with head coach Keith Jones. Triple option offense that he runs. Really could expect almost anything here. Clock is running. Is he electing to take a penalty here? Is that what he's doing? Waiting for the clock to run down, play clock that is. 3rd and long. Ball is at the 46-yard line of the Spartans.
Jones takes a timeout, lets the clock run down a little bit, take a moment to game plan with his offense.
So with that, we'll step aside for just a moment. You're listening to and watching Milford Spartan football on Granite Town Media.
The football team travels to Pelham next Friday to face the Pythons at 7 p.m. The JV football team defeated Goffstown Monday 19-12. The team will play Monday at Souhegan at 4 p.m. Tomorrow, the varsity field hockey team hosts Pelham at 2 p.m. at the Jock School. The volleyball teams play tomorrow at Campbell. The JV match is at 11 a.m., followed by the varsity match at 12:15 p.m. and the varsity soccer teams are in action tomorrow at Pelham. The boys play at 1 p.m., followed by the Lady Spartans at 4 p.m.
We're back at Milford Spartan Field, home of the Milford Spartans. I'm Kevin St. Ange, along with Robert DeFelice, bringing you all the action here on Granite Town Media. 6:43 remaining in the first quarter of play. Milford Spartans took the opening kickoff and have converted on third down on a few occasions here, but now they have a tough 3rd and 8 play from the 46.
Expect to see something special here from Keith Jones, especially after having that time to talk things over with his offense.
Erda gives it to, we got a little trickery here. Pass from Kimball is caught by Erda. No gain, however. No gain on the play. Inside handoff on what looked like a jet sweep to Trice Cody. Cody flipped it to Kimball on the reverse. Kimball, however, decided to let fly with a pass, caught by Erda, but stopped for no gain. That brings up a 4th down. Looks like head coach Jones is going to send in his punt unit.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of those trick plays, but only when they work, and it didn't seem to fool that Souhegan defense.
They had the reverse covered if Kimball was going to run, and they had a man spying Erda. So he caught the ball but was tackled immediately for no gain.
And that just comes down to discipline. Do your job, stay home, be ready for anything.
Back to punt for the Spartans, something we didn't see a whole lot of last week against the Hollis Brookline Cavaliers. Chuck Erda takes the snap, steps into it, and it's blocked. Souhegan Sabres blocked the punt. The ball still loose and often running to the for the Sabres. Tackled from behind by Trice Cody, I believe. Don't have a number on the ball carrier who picked that up out of that scrum for the Sabres. Either way, Souhegan Sabres take over in great field position. Ball looks to be spotted just outside the 15-yard line.
And it looks as though it was Tony Granite who both blocked and recovered that punt.
Tony Granite returned that to the 16-yard line where the Spartans have their back against the wall. The last thing you want to do to a high-powered offensive team is give them this kind of field position in the early going. And that's exactly what the Spartans have done here at the 5:42 mark of the first quarter. Austin Jane in the backfield, takes the snap and hands it off to...
Shaking off a bunch of tackles here, bringing it in to about the 3-yard line where he's finally pushed out by number 23, Logan Barnhill.
That was Colby. He took the inside handoff, tried to turn the corner, did so, picked up about 9.5. He'll bring up a 2nd and short. Sabres can earn a 1st down inside the 5-yard line here. Spread formation for the Sabres. Jane steps back into the shotgun formation. He has Lawhorn to his right. Jane signals for Colby in motion, does not give it to him, gives instead to Lawhorn on an inside handoff. He's tackled immediately at the line, may have even lost a yard or two.
Quickly swallowed up by number 54, Alfonso Ugo.
Or no gain at best.
Be an interesting matchup here between the senior-laden Sabre offensive line and the senior-laden defensive line of the Spartans. No huddle here for the Sabres. Jane, shotgun formation. Again, Lawhorn to his right. Colby in motion, clears. The give is to Lawhorn up the middle, and he has one man to beat into the end zone. Souhegan Sabres score first. 6-0 is your score. Riley Lawhorn off tackle to the left-hand side. Ran through a couple of arm tackles, and that is not going to get it done against the big man, Riley Lawhorn.
And I think it goes unnoticed, but that touchdown would not have happened if it wasn't for Nathan Fritz, the center, who threw not 1, not 2, but 3 great blocks on the way to the end zone.
Sealed the backside pursuit, and it allowed Lawhorn to spring free into the end zone. Lawhorn now pulling double duty as the place kicker for the Sabres. Snap. Placement, kick is up, and it is good. So the Souhegan Sabres have taken a 7-0 lead at the 4:57 mark. Exactly what head coach Keith Jones did not want to see happen. Turnover on the punt, block punt, and then his defense basically acting like Swiss cheese and allowed the Sabres to score. We're going to step aside here and we come back. We'll have the Sabres kicking off to the Spartans. And we're back at Spartan Field where the Milford Spartans have given up a 7-point lead to the Sabres. Sabres' first possession had a nice short field, recovered a blocked punt and ran it back to the 15-yard line and then punched it into the end zone on the strength and legs of Riley Lawhorn, who is now back to kick off for the Sabres.
Now this is a big drive if you're the Spartans. You want to stop that momentum that the Sabres are starting to build here.
Driven way back to the goal, almost to the goal line, is Logan Barnhill running up the right sideline, is pushed out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So a nice little return after being driven back to the goal line. Logan Barnhill, the other super soft from a year ago, growing into his body as a junior, was supposed to anchor that running back position together with Caden Zielinski, but his running partner broke a foot this week on Wednesday and is out for the season. Looks like head coach Jones is going to rely very heavily now on Logan Barnhill as the most senior running back for the Spartans.
The Spartan 33-yard line, where the Spartans will have a 1st and 10.
As I said, here's a very, very big drive for the Spartans offense with the block punt and then the quick touchdown. Souhegan's starting to build some momentum. And if you're the Spartans offense here, you really want to stop that.
Consume time and put the ball in the end zone at the same time. Erda under center, gives it to, looks like Connor Gann up the middle. Short gain. Gann's being a workhorse tonight for the Milford Spartans.
Gain of about 2 yards up the middle.
Looks like number 59, Nathan Fritz, on the tackle again, or at least leading the tackle at least. Swallowed up by quite a few Sabres.
Gann, a junior, was not with the program a year ago, or if he was, I certainly don't remember calling his name last year. May have been one of the few transfers or students that moved into the district during the offseason. Logan Barnhill's in the flex position to the right, now in motion. The give is to Logan Barnhill off tackle, and he is dropped for about a 1-yard loss.
I have a feeling if you're Souhegan right now, you notice that pack in the 6 in the box is working, so I wouldn't stop it anytime soon. Just keep packing that up, stopping that run game of Milford.
They were going to do that anyway if Caden Zielinski was playing, but with him out, one less running back to worry about. But Milford has not, under head coach Keith Jones, been known as a throwing team.
3rd and along 7.
Not likely to change that
Ball is just outside the
that reputation here tonight.
No.
Kimball comes to the right side. Barnhill in his Z formation, now in motion. Erda coming to the left. Ball is tossed for Gann. It is off his fingertips.
Charlie Erda's pass intended for Connor.
That'll bring up a 4th down and 7.
4th and 7 for the Spartans.
Now, if you're Keith Jones here, you send in the punt team, or
You just have to block. You have to block. You got to send in the punt team, and you got to block for it. Now, this is part of the game the Spartans were not able to work on in live action last week against the Cavaliers. I don't remember a punt last week, to be honest with you. So here we are this week working on a part of their special teams that they did not have much game experience with a week ago. The timing of the punter, he has to get his steps in and get the ball away, was a little slow the first time around. High snap, Erda gets it down, gets the punt away, short punt, end over end, taking a bounce for the Spartans, crosses midfield where it is downed at the Sabre 45-yard line.
You know, that was almost blocked again by that Sabres rush. And these are things that normally you work out those types of kinks during scrimmages and stuff in the preseason, but
no scrimmage this year for the Spartans or the Sabres. So we're going to get another look at this high-flying Sabre offense led by senior quarterback Austin Jane. Jane, shotgun formation, slot to the right. Jane keeps it, following his blockers off tackle right. About a 5-yard gain for the Sabres out to the 50-yard line.
Finally brought down by Owen Marble.
Carry for the Sabres.
The ball is spotted just shy of the 50-yard line, so still in Sabre territory. 2nd down and 5. Jane sends Colby in motion. The ball's on the floor.
Ground.
Couldn't handle the snap. Looks like he got it back. We'll wait for the official indication, though.
Official is signaling that it is still Souhegan ball.
Loss of about 4 yards on the play. That brings up a 3rd down. Make that loss of 5 yards on the play.
That brings the ball
Now
back to the
just
45-yard
inside the
line.
45-yard line. 3rd and 10.
And if you're the Spartans here, that's something small that can make a huge difference in terms of your momentum, that gets you a little excited on the defensive side of the ball and could really be what they need to kind of activate this defense here.
Slot formation, really double wide here. Jane rolling out to his left, lets the ball fly, caught on the sideline by Luke Manning. Had one man to beat, Darian Kimball, able to wrap him up, but not before the Sabres were able to pick up a 1st down and move the chains. Luke Manning, a huge contributor to the Sabres last year. Very reliable receiver for Souhegan.
41-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Sabres.
Wide receiver, quarterback, defensive back, kind of a Swiss Army knife type of player.
You love to see a player like that, too. Can do anything that the team needs.
Trips to the left. Jane passes to Manning in a little screen action, and he's off to the races, brought down by Connor Gann after a gain of about 8, maybe 9 on the play. No, make that a 1st down. Sabres are moving the chains here in the 1st quarter. A minute 45 remaining. The Sabres have a 7-point lead and are marching again.
That was a relatively good pass rush from the Spartans' defensive line, but that quarterback for Souhegan, Austin Jane, just got rid of the ball so quick.
For the Sabres.
I think we're going to see a steady diet of that until the Spartans prove that they can contain that. And then as soon as they do that, they start cheating up. Guess where they're going to go? Up and over the top.
Yeah.
Colby in motion. Jane looking to pass. Does so. Connects with Luke Manning once again, coming from the left to the right. A little slant pattern. He's brought down by Waller and Kostafis, but not before he picks up another 1st down.
Yeah. And if you're Souhegan here, you're just going to keep throwing those quick, short passes that until Milford shows that they can stop it, you're just going to stick to what's working here. And those quick catch and release throws from the quarterback is just going to keep driving them up the field.
It's an amazing sense of timing for these two players. They're both seniors. They've been playing together for a long time. And that's a timing play. That's just a 3-step drop and a quick release off the line by Manning. Jane, again, back to pass, up and over the middle, intended for Manning, through the hands of Logan Barnhill, caught by Manning, touchdown, Sabres.
Luke Manning into the end zone.
Nice looking pass by Austin Jane, great pattern by Manning, almost picked off by Logan Barnhill. Actually looks like it went through his hands.
Logan Barnhill.
As I mentioned last week, we don't have replay capability here at Granite Town Media. We're working on that for next season. Replay capability is coming next season, we hope, together with the production truck. If we were able to see that this year, it went right through the hands of Logan Barnhill. Lawhorn back to kick for the Sabres. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and it is good. 14-0 is your score. Souhegan Sabres serving notice in this 1st quarter that they are here to play.
Yeah, and Austin Jane had a fantastic drive there. He went 4 for 4 for 50 yards and a touchdown.
We're going to step aside. We'll bring it back when the Milford Spartans take the next kickoff. We're back at Spartan Field here, home of the Milford Spartans, where they are in a first quarter hole, 14-0. Souhegan Sabres are putting it to the Spartans in the early going. Set to receive the kickoff is Darian Kimball back deep, flanked by Waller and Barnhill. Spartans could use a nice, solid return here to set themselves up.
Definitely. They definitely need some sort of score on that board after this drive here. They're going to find themselves even deeper in this hole really early in the game.
Lawhorn steps into it, drives it deep to Barnhill. Barnhill collects it at the 10-yard line, coming up the right sideline, and he is he is knocked down, helmet-to-helmet contact, taken down by number 33, Tony Guerin, who's been all over the field tonight for the Sabres, but there is a flag coming, and it might be a helmet-to-helmet contact play. We'll let you know as soon as we know.
You know, under the new NHIA rules, Granite could get ejected from this game here.
We'll see what the officials have to say.
That would be a big loss for the Sabres defense and offense.
Oh, it's a holding penalty on the Spartans. After that vicious contact by the Sabres, the officials come up with a holding penalty.
I personally thought it was a clean hit. I thought it was just a nice, classic football hit.
I saw head-to-head. Again, next year when we have replay, we'll be able to get a better look at that.
The penalty will move the ball back to the 14-yard line.
Now, this is not how you want to start this drive here if you're the Spartans.
Start first down and 10.
I think head coach Keith Jones just wants to get out of this first quarter if he can and settle his young team down. 49.7 ticks remaining on the clock in the first quarter. Here come the Spartans. Kimball splitting wide to the right. Barnhill flanked on the right side as well. Gann, fullback position behind Charlie Erda. The give is to, looks like Trice Cody on a little jet sweep action. Nowhere to go for the sophomore running back. Unable to turn the corner. Maybe picked up a yard, half a yard or so. Bring up a 2nd down and 9 for the Spartans.
2nd and 9 for the Spartans.
It's real hard to run that outside run if you're the Spartans, if you're having a hard time containing number 66, Alex Karpowicz, who's just rushing off the ball every single play.
Karpowicz, 2 years in a row, preseason predictions at All-State, D tackle, D end. A man among boys down there is number 66. Clock is running down here on the end to end the first quarter. We're going to flip ends of the field. That'll give the Milford Spartans an opportunity to talk it over, and head coach Keith Jones an opportunity to calm his young team down.
Definitely.
We're going to step aside and we'll bring it back in the second quarter, where the Milford Spartans are down 14-0. And we are set to start the second quarter of play here at Spartan Field. Kevin St. Ange along with Robert DeFelice here on Granite Town Media bringing you Spartan football. Milford Spartans are down 14-0. Second down and 9. Ball spotted about the 13-yard line of the Spartans. Kimball wide to the left. Cody in motion. Erda looking to turn the corner. Was looking to pass.
Calling it down.
Arm was moving forward, so that will be an incomplete forward pass. Dangerous play, though. As he came around the corner, Souhegan was right there.
Yeah.
We've got a tuba in the way, so we'll give you the best play-by-play we can.
Got to see a better protection by that Milford offensive line. They got to give Erda more time, especially as a young quarterback. He's not as keen on decision-making yet, and so they got to give him as much time as possible, and that's just not cutting it.
And that's one of the reasons head coach Jones is putting him in motion. He's rolling him out, little sprint action by the quarterback. That brings up third down and 9. Here come the Milford Spartans looking to convert once again on a big third down play. Tight formation for the Spartans. The give is up the middle to Connor Gann. Gann falls forward. Pickup of about 6 or 7 on the play. That's going to bring up a fourth down play, though.
Brought down by number 59, Nathan Fritz, who's just been an anchor for that defense so far tonight. Seems to be in on every single play here.
That dive play by the fullback is a nice weapon for the Spartans. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be effective using it on first or second down. And by the time they get their 6 or 7 yards on third down, they're still falling behind the chains. Spartans are out to punt again. Noah Santos, the long snapper for the Spartans, back deep. Back deep for the Sabres is number 7, Colby. Erda looking to run, trying to turn the corner, still picking his way, and he's brought down for a loss. Not only do they not get the punt away, he doesn't get the first down, and so the Milford Spartans have turned the ball over on downs to the Sabres and given them a very short field.
And if you're Erda there, you saw everyone in front of you, you're trying to dodge everyone you can to get that first down, but he didn't see number 69, Jackson Weisberg, coming right from behind.
And here come the Sabres with their spread offense, and they are looking to add to their 14-point lead here in the second quarter. Jane, shotgun formation, looking to pass. Flushed from the pocket, going to his right. Lets the ball go, intended for Manning. That ball bounces in and out of his hands, but we do have a flag on the play, holding on the Sabres, so they're going to lose some. You're going to lose some down and distance here, rather down. They're going to lose some yardage here.
And I believe that's Jan's first incompletion of the game here in the second quarter.
That's the first time Manning wasn't able to haul that in, and unfortunately for him, it hit him right in the hands too. So that was a catchable ball, and the Spartans would have been in a whole world of hurt. I'm not sure this is all that bad for the Sabres, though. It just gives Austin Jane's receivers that much more room in the short field to get open. Head coach Robin Boquette basically saying, I think my athletes are better than your athletes. We're going to throw the ball all around the yard and see who can make the most plays. So far, it has been the Sabres. The officials are still talking about the enforcement of this penalty.
The penalty will move the ball back to the Spartan 36-yard line.
It's a big penalty there for Souhegan. I think this is something the Spartans defense needed right now, but
certainly more than the hold that I thought I saw. First and a ton of yardage. Ooh. Jane and his running back colliding in the backfield. Jane keeps it. Short gain for the Sabre quarterback. Gotta love it.
Looks like Jane's shooken up here.
Gotta love it when teams give us rosters that don't have numbers that match the players on the field. That was Jane ran into his running back, number 24. There's no 24 on the roster.
2 yards to go.
Second down and a whole bunch of yardage remaining. Jane shaken up, but he seems to be okay. Back in the shotgun formation for the Sabres. Kind of rolling, sprint out to his left, lets the ball fly again for number 24 in the end zone. Wide open. We're going to have to figure out who number 24 is. Our public address announcer also looking for the name for number 24. So that'll bring up third down, 22. Ball spotted at the 32, 33-yard line.
33-yard line.
It's a little mystery man for Souhegan here.
Have to believe that this is 4-down territory for the Souhegan Sabres, though, given the 14-point lead and Spartans' inability really to stop them other than we've got Jane back to pass going up the right sideline. Ball is thrown away out of bounds. Overshot his man, number 17, Connor Holland. So that's going to bring up a fourth down for head coach Robin Boquette.
I think that ball stayed in play. It could have been intercepted by Caden Zelensky there.
No, that wasn't Zelensky. He's out for the season with a broken ankle.
Ooh, not
maybe
Zelensky.
Barnhill or Graham.
For the Sabres, the ball's on the Spartan.
Sabres look to be lining up to punt. Back to do the punting duties for the Sabres appears to be Riley Lawhorn. Darian Kimball and Charlie Erda to receive this punt. Lawhorn pooch punts it. It's going to land a little short and take a very favorable Spartan bounce at about the 20-yard line, 21-yard line, where it's downed by the Sabres, Maddox McGrath. So at the 9:52 mark of the second quarter, Sabres really get turned away by the Spartans, but it was not the Spartans so much as the penalty that backed the Sabres up, and they just weren't able to recover from their own miscue.
And if you're Keith Jones here calling this offense, you got to think to switch things up a little bit. What you've been doing so far, quarter so far, hasn't seemed to be getting them a whole lot of yards, so you got to start changing it up a little bit.
Here's the counterpoint to that, though. They're only down 2 scores, 9:52 in the second quarter. They can go on a nice sustained drive here and pick up some first downs and move the chains. You're still right in this game. Erda under center, keeps it, turns the corner, and is swallowed up by the right side, number 33 for the Sabres. Guess who that man is?
Tony Grant.
Tony Grant's been all over the field tonight. Second down, loss of 2 on the play. The ball's now spotted back at the Spartan 20-yard line. Although the head coach Jones wanted to run the clock and keep the clock moving and running the ball, he assumed that the ball would be moving forward, matriculating down the field. That's just not happening for the Milford Spartans this evening.
They just can't seem to get their running game started. There's just so many people firing off at the ball, rushing 5-6 people at a time, and if they don't find an answer to that, they're in some trouble.
Cody in the I formation behind Erda. Erda looking to throw, does so. Ball is intended for Barnhill, overthrew his man in the right flat. So that'll bring up third down and 12. Ball spotted at the 18-yard line.
Little miscommunication there between quarterback and receiver. Again, you can't help but think that those are some of the things they'd work out in the preseason had they had some preseason scrimmages.
Young quarterback, sophomore quarterback is your signal caller, running a very complex flex bone offense for head coach Keith Jones, who told me it took Charlie's older brother Gavin a full season of running this offense and running the options and exercising the options before he really had a command of it. Here's Erda. He keeps it, turns up in the pocket, but is met there again by the entire interior defensive line of the Sabres. Loss on the play, bringing up fourth down.
Dexter Healy seemed to go right through that Spartans offensive line untouched to swallow up Erda there.
Back to punt. Charlie Erda has had one blocked, the other almost blocked.
And a failed fake.
So special teams kind of letting the Spartans down tonight. Gets the snap cleanly, gets the ball away, end over end kick to the center of the field, where the Sabres are going to let it roll to the 50-yard line, where it's touchdown there by Christian Waller. Sabres will take over here at the 49-yard line, their 49-yard line, 8:14 mark of the second quarter. Milford Spartans are down 14-0.
Now, if the Spartans here can get another stop like they did on the last drive, now, granted, they did have the penalty help them out a little bit, but if their defense can put up a little bit of a wall to the Sabres offense, that'll really give them some help getting back on offense.
Spread formation for the Sabres. Colby in motion, clears the quarterback. Jane gives it to Lawhorn up the middle. Lawhorn met there nicely by the Spartan defensive line. maybe fell forward for a very short gain.
Ben Kilgore fires right through that line to make that tackle.
Inside handoff to the senior Riley Lawhorn, who had 224 yards rushing opening night against the Hollis Brookline Cavaliers. He's off for this play. Michael Maroon in slot formation. Jane tosses to the left. Manning collects it on a screen pass and is upended by Darian Kimball. But a nice little gain by the Sabres.
You got to know if you're a defensive lineman there for the Spartans that if you go through that line and no one tried to block you, you got to be expecting the screen there.
Get the hands up, try to knock it down, and
get back to the line to figure out where it's going.
3rd and 1 for the Sabres. Lawhorn back in at tailback for the Sabres. Jane pitches inside handoff to, I believe that's Maroon. Maroon picks up the first down, stumbles forward for about a 4-yard gain. First down for the Sabres. Chains are moving. Clock is moving. Score remains the same. They haven't punched it in yet, but they already have a 14-point lead.
And it looks like the Sabres took that play straight out of the Kansas City Chiefs playbook, looking like something Patrick Mahomes would do with that quick toss.
Little inside toss to the flanker coming across.
From the Spartan 36-yard line.
Jane, shotgun formation. Lawhorn to his left. The give is to Lawhorn, running hard, 2 hands on the ball. Stumbles forward for about a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
Ben Kilgore for the Spartans has just had a very good game, despite what the score is showing, that he's still getting off the ball as a defensive lineman, getting a nice rush every single play. So in terms of doing your job, Ben Kilgore here is definitely doing his job.
The problem is the Sabres are mixing up their offense. Nice mix of run and pass. Again, a run play to Lawhorn. Lawhorn off tackle to the left, tackled very aggressively, very hard tackle by Matt Rowland, the sophomore for the Milford Spartans. But not before Lawhorn picked up a couple yards on the play.
No gain on the play.
And this is a big 3rd down here for the Spartans.
I guess he ran for a little ways, but he was really moving lateral to the line, so no gain on the play. Nice tackle by Rowland. From our vantage point, it looked like he picked up a few, but that's 3rd down and 9 for the Sabres. Jane looking to pass, looking to the right, dumps it over to the left. Lawhorn reaches up for it, collects it, running hard on the left sideline. Picks up a first down for the Sabres. Ball looks like it's inside the Spartan 20.
Looks like there might be a flag down.
The tackle for the Spartans.
That far sideline does look like it has a little bit of laundry on the field.
Maybe I am mistaken here, though.
Or is it a towel?
The gain was to
The officials are talking things over here, so maybe there is a flag down on the field.
The gain was to the Spartan.
That's the 2nd time this drive that the Spartans' defensive line has gotten fooled by that screen pass.
We're awaiting the official call.
But the penalty is against
Is a block in the back against the Sabres. That is a block in the back.
Penalty against the Sabres, block in the back. That's going to march the ball back to the 38-yard line, where the Sabres will take over, will continue rather, 3rd and about 12.
And that's huge there for the Spartans, giving up the first down, but kind of getting it covered up there.
Jane looking to throw again, dumps it off to Manning. Manning with some screen and blockers in front of him, dragging, it looks like Charlie Erda along the way. Big gain for the Sabres.
And it looks like there's another flag down on the play.
And there is another penalty flag on the play.
We'll await word from the officials here at the 5:21 mark of the 2nd quarter.
How many times in a row here do you think the Sabres are going to run that screen pass?
Until the Spartans can defend it. Here comes the call for the officials. They seem to be having some conversation with the sidelines. Coach Jones is waving his defense forward. Holding call against the Sabres will move the ball back again. The best defense for the Spartans so far has been offensive penalties against the Sabres.
Back to the Spartan 44-yard
3rd down, and it looks to be about 20.
It'll be 3rd and 20 for the Sabres. The ball's on the Spartan 44-yard line.
Double slot formation for Jane. Lawhorn offset left, inside handoff. He's coming to the right side, turn the corner, dragging Gann with him.
Down.
Here comes another flag. Three plays in a row with flags.
But there is another penalty flag on the play.
Kimball on the bottom of that pile.
Darian Kimball on the
Another hold.
For the Spartans.
Spartans elect to decline that holding penalty there.
Against the Sabres.
Okay, get her at half.
Coach Jones here decides to decline that penalty. Sets the Sabres up for a 4th and long here.
Milford declines the penalty.
So declining the penalty, the Sabres now have 4th and about 9, 8.5, 9.
That leaves the Sabres with a 4th down and 9 from the Spartan 35-yard line.
Holland split wide to the right, really a double slot formation for the Sabres. Jane, empty backfield, takes the snap, rolling to his left, looking downfield, looking to go. He's going to tuck it and run. He's on the left sideline and is brought down by a host of defenders. We're going to have to wait on the spot, though. Looks like he's picked up the first down, and he has. They're moving the chains. So the Sabres dodged the bullet that time. Despite a plague of penalties, they picked up the first down on 4th and long and keep the chains moving.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Sabres from the Spartan 24-yard line.
Can't help but smile there if you're a Sabres fan after seeing penalty after penalty after penalty and then still managed to get the first down there.
Spread formation for the Sabres. Jane looks to pitch inside, does so to Maroon. Maroon running hard to the right side, dragged down by Logan Barnhill. Barnhill making a saving tackle because if he doesn't drag him down from behind, Maroon's probably still running.
And it looks here that the Sabres have run maybe 3 different plays here on this drive, but it's one of those things that if it's working, why stop?
Spartans haven't been able to stop the Sabres here. The 3:55 mark of the second quarter. Trips to the right. Lawhorn kind of offset to the right as well. Jane, bubble screen here again to Holland. Holland with some blockers in front of him and is forced out of bounds by Connor Gann, Logan Barnhill, Trice Cody, and Kostofis.
Looks like he's shy of the... Oh, nope, they are giving him the first down there, and that's another Sabres first down.
Good spot for the Sabres on that one.
Liam Daly on the stop for the Spartans.
No huddle here for the Sabres. They get the play from the sideline. Jane, shotgun again, trips formation to the left side. Jane takes the snap, gives it to Lawhorn. Lawhorn turns the corner along the left side, but he's met nicely by Kostofis and Barnhill.
Fantastic angle taken there by Kostofis.
Loss of about a yard on the play, 2nd and 11. So the Spartan defense has bent but not broken here on these last 2 drives for head coach Keith Jones.
Definitely think they're performing better on the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side of the ball.
Again, a spread formation for the Sabres. Jane in the shotgun. Colby in motion. Jane dropping back, 3 more steps, rolling now to his right. He's flushed, chased by Kilgore. Ball is released into the end zone, intended for Manning, broken up by Kimball and Barnhill. Nice defensive play by the Spartan defensive secondary. You can't help but get better playing defense against, you can't help but improve your pass defense when the other team does nothing but pass the ball.
Definitely. And on that play, it almost seemed like the receiver was kind of switched roles and became the defender to make sure that ball wasn't getting intercepted there.
3rd and 11 now at the 2:37 mark of the second quarter. I think head coach Keith Jones would love nothing more than to get into halftime holding the Sabres to a 14-point lead.
Maybe even get some points up on the board. There's still a decent amount of time to get a drive going.
Need the ball back in order to do that, and that starts with your defense. 3rd and 11 is the play set, and it looks like somebody's calling timeout here. Sabres are walking to their bench. Here come the Spartans to their bench. That gives us a chance to step aside. We'll be back with a 3rd and 11. All right, let's set the scene here for you. Milford Spartan Field. The Milford Spartans are down 14-0 with 2:37 remaining in the first half of play. The Sabres have been on a series of long, short drives, really, but they've been elongated by penalties. And here come the Sabres now. Jane with the snap. The ball play's going to be whistled dead, though.
The play was whistled dead.
Timeout taken by the Spartans before that snap occurred.
Looks like Keith Jones just wanted to see how the Sabres were going to line up there.
Got to look at the play, and that gives us another chance to step aside. Back here on Granite Town Media, Kevin St. Ange along with Robert D. Felice, 2:34 remaining in the first half. Spread formation for the Sabres. Jane, shotgun, Lawhorn to his left. 3rd and 11. Ooh. Penalty on the Spartans, upcoming. Big number 69, Ben Kilgore, getting a little jumpy.
Yeah.
Getting a little jumpy, looking to jump that snap, and that's going to move the ball forward for the Sabres. That's easy offense. Picking up yards on defensive penalties is easy offense for the Sabres.
It's only a matter of time before the penalty luck ran out for the Spartans and it turned around on them.
Spread formation once again. Holland wide to the right. Colby behind him. Pass intended for Colby. Caught by Colby. Dragged down by Logan Barnhill. They had a hold of his long sleeve shirt.
Hold on and don't let go.
If Colby's not wearing a long sleeve shirt, Barnhill probably doesn't make that tackle.
Definitely.
4th down and about a half a yard remaining for the Sabres. Clock is running now at the 2:07 mark. Looks to be a little bit of confusion on the Sabre sideline and the play they want to call. Luke Manning wide to the left for the Sabres. Kimball checking him. Jane with Lawhorn behind him. The give is to Lawhorn. Lawhorn running hard up the middle. Looks like he's got the first down. We'll wait for the official signal, though.
Lawhorn on the carry. He did not.
Milford Spartan ball. They did not convert on that 4th down, and that's huge for the Spartans defense.
Milford Spartan defense bent but did not break with the help of a bunch of penalties and a very stiff defense on this last running play. The Milford Spartans will take over on downs. 1st and 10 from their 5-yard line with 1:44 to play here in this first half.
Now you're excited here if you're the Spartans defense, but you have no time to celebrate or anything because you only got 1:44 left on the clock to turn around and try to put some points on the board before you go into the half here.
Milford Spartans would just like to run downhill a little bit here. Pick up some momentum. If they can score, great, but really just move the ball and move the chains. Go into halftime with some confidence that they can move the ball on this team. They've now proven they can stop this team. Inside handoff, I believe, to Connor Gann. Check that, Kostafis. Nope, one more time. Logan Barnhill on the carry, inside handoff. Had about a 4-yard gain.
The Sabres take a timeout here. Can't help but wonder, do you think the Sabres are hoping to get a quick stop 3 and out on the Spartans here and maybe try to put some points up themselves? That's why they're using up those timeouts.
On that 4th and short, head coach Robin Boquette electing to go for it and put points, 6 points on the board. Have to wonder, why not try the field goal attempt? You're inside the 20.
Well, I believe the Sabres here are playing with a different kicker to start this game. Am I correct?
Couldn't tell you. I know the Spartans did. Spartans have cycled through a number of kickers, been very happy with all of them. Colin Gregg, Liam Daly. Tonight, Charlie Erda has been handling punting duties.
I think it just comes down to the Boquette had more confidence in his offense than his special teams unit.
Must be, because he had an opportunity to put 3 points on the board, elected to go for the first down and try to pick up the 6. Unsuccessful. Here come the Spartans now, 2nd down and 7, deep in their territory, shadow of their own goalpost.
You know, if they pick up that field goal, if they had kicked it instead of going for it, that puts them at a 3-possession game instead of a 2.
Not going to be lost on head coach Keith Jones and his brain trust at halftime as both coaching staffs look to make adjustments for the second half. Full house backfield for the Spartans. The give looks like it's the Kickoff. Nope, Erda kept it, and he's looking to string it out to the right side. Does so. Doesn't look like he picked up any yards, though.
Looks like he lost a few.
Dangerous as the ball's moving backwards towards the Spartan end zone. And we have a timeout on the field. Head coach Robin Boquette doing exactly that, trying to conserve clock so he can get the ball back, maybe with a little bit of time to score again.
Now this is a 3rd and long here for the Spartans with your heels on your own goal line. You can't help but feel like now at this point they're almost playing defensive offense where they're just trying to not give up the safety.
Coming up at halftime, the Milford Spartan Marching Band will take the field. Shortly after their performance, I'll be interviewing Milford High School principal Charlie Davis. We'll talk about a little bit about how the start of school has gone here in Milford, how this global pandemic has affected education right here locally. And we look forward to speaking with her. We've got 1:20 of game time remaining here in the first half. Getting very interesting. Both teams playing a little bit of the chess game here. Milford Spartans just trying to get out of the first half. Not down by any more than the two scores. Head coach Robin Boquette, though, knows that this Spartan team, that these teams are such rivals, throw the records out at the window at the start of the game, and it's a neighborhood grudge match. They are going to go after each other, and 14-point lead is not safe when you're playing against a Keith Jones flexbone offense.
And going off that, I don't think either head coach is going into this halftime very happy or excited. I think both teams have a lot of adjustments that they're looking to make coming into the second half.
Here come the Milford Spartans. Ball is on the Spartan 2-yard line. Very delicate play for the Spartans. Need to get something moving forward. Looks like another full house backfield. Kind of a full wishbone for the Spartans. Erda trying to draw the Sabres offside. Long count. Unsuccessful so far. Spartans holding their positions. They are not going to snap this ball.
Some great discipline there by the Sabres defense not to jump off sides on Erda's call.
Timeout on the field. We're going to step aside. We'll come back to finish this 1 minute and 20 seconds of the first half.
Yeah, most of it is really common sense. Sure, I guess it's been helpful. I've learned there are new things, but most of it is, subjective in that, everybody organizes their life differently, and you can't really apply a general thing most of the time. Some tactics are good.
Not that I could tell because I just immediately pulled it off.
And we are back here for a big 3rd down for the Spartans offense.
Third and 13 upcoming for the Spartans. Kimball wide to the left. Erda gives, looks like to Barnhill. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Logan Barnhill on the carry. No gain on the play.
Now this is even a tough punt here for the Spartans if they elect to punt, which the punt team does not look like they're heading on the field yet.
Ball is on the 2-yard line. Might not be a bad idea to take a penalty here. Let the clock run down as much as you can. But you're absolutely right. The punter is not going to have the normal distance, the normal depth from the center. And the Spartans have already proven they have a difficult time
protecting that punter
protecting the punter tonight. 38 seconds remaining in the half. The clock is running. Play clock likely to go off before the game clock runs down. Half a distance to the goal line will mean the ball spots back at the 1. And the chess match here between Keith Jones and Robin Boquette continues. 13.8 seconds remaining.
And that's just smart play there if you're the Spartans. Run that clock down, take the penalty. Souhegan doesn't have any more timeouts to stop that clock.
It'll move the ball back half the distance. It'll be 4th and 14.
And here comes the Spartans punt team, hoping to get it off as quick as they possibly can. They can't afford to give up another special teams error here.
Quarterback now punter Charlie Erda with his heels on the end line, the back of the end zone. Spartans look to get this punt away cleanly. Need a good snap from Santos. Good snap. Ball is away. Spiraling kick to the 35. Colby racing up the left sideline. Has turned the corner. Touchdown. As the clock is running down. 3 seconds remaining in the first half. And the Sabres are back on the board again. Taking the Erda punt 35 yards. Or was that 25 yards? Excuse me, 25 yards. It came down at the 25. And Colby takes it into the end zone.
And you got it.
We have a flag on the play, though.
Personal foul.
Ooh.
Roughing the kicker.
First down, Spartans. Saved again by the penalties here for the Spartans.
You can't make this stuff up. So what appeared to be a touchdown for the Sabres is actually a roughing the punter penalty against the Sabres. With 3.2 seconds remaining, the Spartans dodge the bullet, keep the score at 14-0, and if they can just snap this ball cleanly, they'll go into the half only 2 scores down. Very fortunate for the Milford Spartans.
Now, if you're the Spartans offense here, I think maybe take a shot downfield, see if you can get anything. But it doesn't look like they're going to go for that here. It looks like they're just going to take a knee and go into the half and make some adjustments.
That's exactly what they have done. So the clock runs out here on the first half. 14-0 is your score. The boys from Amherst come over for a neighborhood grudge match, and they're in a dogfight. They took a 14-0 lead, but penalties have plagued the Sabres in the first half. I think both coaches are just happy to get their teams off the field so they can talk to them, settle them down for the second half of play. On Granite Town Media, I'm Kevin St. Ange along with Robert DeFelice. We're going to step aside for halftime. The Milford Spartan Marching Band will take the field. After they do, I'm going to introduce or bring into the booth the principal of Milford High School, Chaley Davis. We'll talk about the opening of school here in Milford.
Please welcome to the field, under the direction of Band Director Eric Granite, Drill Instructor Manny Mendez, color guard instructor Jordana McGuire and percussion instructor Ingrid Whitehorse led on the field for drum major Adriana George. The marching Spartans invite you to hop in our DeLorean and travel back in time with them to the 80s and 90s with their rendition of Any Way You Want It by Journey and I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. Here are your 2020 Marching Spartans.
Welcome back to Spartans football here on Granite Town Media. I'm Kevin St. Ange. I'm joined in the booth now here at halftime by the principal of Milford High School, Miss Chaley Davis. Principal Davis, how are things going? What a difference a year makes. A year ago, you joined me on opening night, which was also your first time here at Milford High School. You took the job a year ago, and tell us a little bit about how your first year has gone, pandemic permitting and everything else.
Yeah, so this has been an absolutely unbelievable year. So it's been a year where I've gotten to know the community of Milford more, and the teachers and the students, and I have to say that even with the pandemic, it's just been absolutely a great year. And just getting to know how wonderful and how hardworking the teachers are, and the students are just so impressive. And so we went through a really tough time together, and we came back and we started the school year together, and the students have been phenomenal. You know, in the building, I walk around and I see them working hard. Their masks are on, but they're doing their thing. They're building pottery, and they're painting, and they're doing physics experiments and math, and it's just wonderful to see. And to know that we could go through such a tough time together and then come back together as a community has been just unbelievable.
And speaking of community, how do you feel about coming out here and seeing these fans in the stands, social distancing, everybody's wearing their masks and so forth? Don't love the score on the scoreboard by any means at this point, but it's a lot of time left in the second half. But just the idea that as a community, we're able to get back to some sense of normalcy on Friday night with Friday Night Lights and Milford Spartan football.
Yeah, and I tell you, this summer, Mark and I spent a lot of time together, you know, looking at all the different reports across the country, different what other states were doing, and there were times when we did not think this was possible. And so to be here tonight, it feels like a miracle to me. And when I see the kids out doing what they love, but knowing that we also created a safe environment, that, you know, by having that small cohort of schools, feels like we did what was right for the community, for the schools, and the kids.
I was just going to ask you about that, because we see the news every night, Channel 9 News reporting on another school with another outbreak.
Right.
Most of them seem to be sports related. Merrimack in particular has shut down most of their athletic programs for at least another week, and Milford's been able to dodge that. I'm just curious, can you expand on that a little bit, how you've been able to avoid that, the COVID bug?
Right. So I really do feel like the athletes and the coaches are really respecting, you know, the rules, the things that they have to do to be safe. And then during the school day, we have a program that's set up that is absolutely the optimal, because as you know, we had an outbreak. We had one student become sick this week, and we were able to just keep it very isolated, because we didn't have everybody 6 feet apart and everyone's wearing masks. So we have, and when I called the state, they were thrilled with our program, and they were like, this is a dream. Like,
so one case did not turn into an outbreak because
not.
of containment and the nature of the protocol that you have in place. That's a wonderful story. Actually, that's the story that should be reported a little bit more.
Right.
We know about the outbreaks and we hear about, you know, schools shutting down and so forth, but that's a real success story.
Yeah, and it's because the kids are doing what they need to do too. Like before we started the school year, we thought, oh, the kids are going to have trouble with masks. We have zero trouble with masks. The kids do what they need to do, and they get to come together, and it's just great to have them back.
Principal Davis, it's great to have you back here in the booth. It's a pleasure to see you. Year 2 of your administration. Wish you nothing but good luck here as you go forward. And a lot of work to do still with this pandemic, but it looks like you put the hard work in, and we really appreciate your efforts. And we need you back in the booth again. Or anytime you're at the game, we'd love to have you up here and check in with us. Okay?
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm Kevin St. Ange, along with Principal Davis, here on Granite Town Media. We're going to step aside. We'll bring it back for second half action of Milford Spartan football. It's halftime here at Spartan Field, where the Milford Spartans are hosting the Sabres of Souhegan High School. Although it's halftime, we were able to catch up with both head coaches before the game to talk about what they expected tonight from their team. Joining me now is the head coach of the Milford Spartans, Keith Jones. Coach Jones, what a difference a year makes. A year ago, you're undefeated coming into this game with the Sabres. They come in here with an underclassmen roster, and you had your senior-laden team. Video game number game, we seem to be talking about a lot of those. 46-43 is the final, though, and one of the problems that then and now was a little bit of ball security. Last week, put the ball on the ground a couple of times against Hollis Brookline. Just wondering your thoughts on the difference from last year to this year, and also a little bit about ball security. What have you done to try to shore that up?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we run the option, and without having scrimmages and things like that, it was kind of tough this year to simulate how it's going to actually be. Last week was almost like a scrimmage in a way because it was a blind date for, a lot of guys hadn't had real contact yet or hadn't really play hard yet against, good competition. So, we learned a lot from last week. We also, obviously learned a lot from last year with these guys. Even though they're in the spread stuff, they want to run the football, and you got to be able to stop the run in high school football. Last year they ran it down our throat, and we made too many mistakes. So this year we're hoping control the clock, keep their offense off the field, and try not to put the football on the carpet.
You talk about their running game led by number 2 senior Riley Lawhorn. He was a big part of that running game a year ago. He put up 2 and a quarter against Hollis Brookline in week 1 of their season. What are you going to do to try to slow him down, Coach?
Well, we thought we'd bring sticks out with us and hit him in the shins on the way by, maybe trip him a few times.
That didn't work for Tanya Harding, by the way, or Nancy Kerrigan. It didn't work out so well.
The thing with Riley, he's going to find his cracks. He's going to find his seams. He's a good runner. He's patient. The key is to rally to the ball and not let him have those big runs like he did last year. Hopefully we can contain him. Hopefully that we can keep his gains to a minimum. We understand that he's going to get some big ones. It's the kind of back he is. But like you said, if I can keep him on defense, that's the best way to defend him.
Now, your big runner a week ago, Caden Zielinski, a stud junior running back for you as well, put up 122 yards against Hollis Brookline. Gone for the season, though.
Yeah.
How do you replace his numbers?
Can't replace Caden Zielinski. You can only hope to help others rise to the occasion.
And who are those others, Coach?
It's the same group. I mean, we got a group of running backs. They're all young. A lot of them inexperienced. Cade Cloutier, freshman fullback. One of our new guys, C.J. Gam, who's played last week, and then Logan Barnhill's is going to have to really get a bulk of the carry, and then a couple, Trice Cody, who's a sophomore, Chris Costadis, who's a sophomore. So there'll be some different kids in there. Maybe even pluck Darian Kimball back into the backfield. So we got kids. They don't really replace Caden, but they'll be formidable.
Good luck tonight, Coach. Keep the kids healthy and safe and out of the COVID numbers if we can. And we'll keep coming back here on Granite Town Media. The Milford Spartans put their 1-0 record on the line against the 2-0 Souhegan Sabres. Keep it right here on Granite Town Media for all the action. Joining me now is the head coach of the Souhegan Sabres, Robin Boquette. Coach, thanks for joining us here at halftime.
Thank you.
We're airing this in the pregame, though, so we're going to be asking you questions a little bit about, what are your thoughts coming into this game? Last year you came to Milford with an underclassmen team, very talented, and you faced off against a very senior-laden Spartan team, undefeated at the time. In fact, you came out of that game with a 3-point win and hung the only regular season loss on the Spartans. That had to feel good, but how do you guard against a letdown now with your team being the veteran team on the field tonight?
Yeah, I think with our kids, we just focus on going 1-0 each week, no matter who the opponent is, no matter what we did the week before. We certainly enjoy that win that weekend, and then once Sunday afternoon hits, we're on to our next opponent. So anytime Souhegan and Milford get together, it doesn't matter how the teams are in terms of what their record is. It's kind of like Army-Navy. It's like it's always going to be a good game no matter what. So I don't expect anything less tonight.
Throw the records out and just get it on the field.
No doubt.
So let's talk a little bit about ball security. Big running back in Riley Lawhorn. A year ago, though, despite that 3-point win, you put the ball on the floor 4 times in that game.
Thank you.
So my question for you is, how are you going to guard against that tonight? It's a cool night.
Yeah.
Slippery ball and big running back.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about last year too. We gave them 14 points on offense in terms of them scoring on defense. And you saw a game like last week where we forced 7 turnovers. We were +5 in the turnover margin. The ball is the program, and the program is the ball, and we talk about it all the time. When we're on offense, we want to keep it, and ball security is a must, and we practice that all the time and preach that. And then if we're on defense, we need to get the ball back. So in any game, takeaways and turnovers is always a big key, but especially in a rivalry game like this.
let's talk about that big running back of yours, Riley Lawhorn. Posted 224 yards in your first game against Hollis Brookline. 20-0, by the way. Nice job on defense there. And then you come back the following week, 17-7, 10-point win over Division I opponent. Nice win there too. BG did a little something different to Riley Lawhorn though. They kind of slowed the big man down a little bit.
Yeah, you know, with their defensive scheme, they kept 6 guys in the box, and they're very athletic. You know, we're especially for us, who's a pretty athletic team. But we knew that VG was going to be very athletic on defense. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. But yeah, no, I mean, especially after week 1, it's like, all right, well, let's stop this guy and let other guys beat us. And you know, other guys, you know, came through that day. Luke Manning had a great job. Had a great game at the outside receiver. Austin Jane did a great job just running the offense, and other guys just kind of sprinkle in here and there. But you know, that's the great thing about our offense is we'll figure out what the defense is trying to take away from us, and then just try to get the ball into the other guy's hands.
Game of adjustments, right?
No doubt.
Coach, want to thank you for joining us here on Granite Town Media. Wish you a successful game tonight. Keep these kids healthy, though, throughout this pandemic. We're counting on you.
we're absolutely #1. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're back at halftime here at Milford Spartan Field. Kevin St. Ange along with Robert DeFelice here on Granite Town Media, where the Milford Spartans are lucky to only be down 14-0 after a very penalty-laden first half of play. Spartans are going to be kicking off to the Sabres to start the second half. The question is whether the Milford defense will continue to bend but not break. The problem is their defense has been heavily reliant upon the offensive penalty by the Sabres. Late in that second half, the Sabres just kept shooting themselves in the foot with penalty after penalty. And my question for head coach Robin Boquette after this game is going to be, why not go for the field goal?
Yeah.
They're in deep. They're on I believe it was the 5-yard line at the time. So should be a chip shot field goal, even at this high school level for most high school varsity athletes. He elected to go for the first down, and that play got stuffed. It didn't cost him because the Spartans weren't able to move the ball either. But it keeps it a 2-score game as we put 12 minutes on the clock to start the third quarter.
And you can't help to think that one of the biggest conversations at halftime that both coaches had was a conversation about discipline, the amount of penalties and mistakes made by both sides of the ball. So you'd think that coming out into the second half, we're hopefully going to see a little bit more discipline from both teams.
Freshman Cade Cloutier stepping back for the Spartans to kick off. He'll do so to Dylan Button and Reese Colby.
Onside kick.
Onside kick by the Spartans. Fielded, looks like cleanly, though, by the Sabres, where they'll take over in great field position once again. Just inside their 50-yard line, probably the 48-yard line of the Sabres.
And, you know, special teams, something that usually goes overlooked in most games, has really made the difference in this game here between the block punts, the failed fake, the penalty on the returned punt.
And now the inability to execute the onside kick. 46-yard line of the Sabres. Great field position once again for senior quarterback Austin Jane. Lawhorn to his left. Jane, shotgun, receives the snap, fakes it to Jane. Little screen pass out there, probably to Manning. Manning reversing his field, does so. He's got blockers in front of him, turns the corner, first down and a lot more. He's running up the sideline where he's pushed out of bounds by Logan Barnhill, but not before a big gain by the senior, Luke Manning from Austin Jane. That was just a little screen pass that he turned into a big gain.
And you know, the screen pass that the Spartans weren't able to stop previously, now they actually executed it well. They stopped it, but then he reversed his field on them, and there was no one home to stop him on the other side.
Lack of discipline by the left defensive line of the Spartans. Jane gives to Lawhorn. Lawhorn running off tackle to the right, still running free. He's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, 2 plays for the Sabres, and they are serving notice that they are going to spread you out, throw it around the yard, and run hard. And if you're not tackling, they're going to continue to run. 2 plays into the second half, and the Sabres are back on the board. 20-0 is your score.
If you're the Milford coaching staff here, you got to be telling your guys, don't hang your heads. There's still plenty of football to be played here. Still plenty of time to come back from this 3-score deficit. So just keep your head in the game and get ready for the next drive.
Snap back to Luke Manning. His hold is bobbled. Luke Manning picks it up, turns to go. Play is whistled dead, though. Both knees on the ground, so that play was whistled dead. 20-0 is your score. This is the same score that the Sabres beat the Hollis Brookline Cavaliers by 2 weeks ago. Very unusual to see a Keith Jones-led team unable to score, really unable to move the ball here tonight. And the Sabres are
rolling.
2 plays into the second half, and they're on the board. 11:38 mark of the second half, third quarter, that is.
So what do you expect to see here from Keith Jones' offense for their first drive of the second half? They had a lot of time to talk things over, adjust to the Sabres defense, and what do you think you'll see?
From my perspective, I think he's going to go back to basics. He's going to run basic plays. He's going to get his quarterback, Charlie Erda, comfortable back under center, running the plays that he's comfortable running, the read option, reading the defensive end and the inside linebacker, and get back to basics. He tried to have his sophomore quarterback do something a little bit out of character for him by throwing the ball a few times in the first half. Having said all of that, head coach Keith Jones actually runs contrary to the book, and we may see him try to throw the ball downfield. It really depends on whether he trusts his offense to get back to their running style. I expect he's going to run the ball, and he's going to probably keep it very simple for his offense.
I agree with you here. I think maybe we'll see a few more of those trick plays that Keith Jones tried to pull on the first drive.
If he sees that the game is getting out of reach, that might be exactly what you see. Lawhorn back to kick for the Sabres. Darian Kimball deep to receive.
Their position for an onside kick.
They're with a 20-point lead. They're onside kicking, which is a very interesting play
and it looks
by
like Sabres
head coach
ball.
Robin Boquette. Good play call in terms of result. I'm not sure about the sportsmanship of that.
That's the
quite
Sabres
honest
ball.
with you. Sabres with the recovery.
I think that's just a telltale sign of a rivalry game there. There's some bad blood in the water. They want to just keep running up the score. They're not take their foot off the gas pedal no matter what the score is here.
That is not going to sit well with head coach Keith Jones.
37-yard line here. The Sabres will have a first and
Have to give tip of the hat to head coach Robin Boquette for dialing up that play. He's looking to put the pedal to the metal here in the early part of the second half and put this game out of reach, knowing that a running team like the Spartans are going to be hard-pressed without Gavin Erda, instead sophomore Charlie Erda at the helm. Jane in the shotgun formation where he's been all night. The give is to Lawhorn. Lawhorn on this
Taken off.
tackle, off tackle play to the right.
carry.
Finally brought down by Owen Marble.
Marble on the tackle.
We've called his name more than a few times tonight.
And that was a great tackle by Marble there. That didn't seem like there was much left in the Spartan secondary, so without that tackle, who knows how far he would have taken off.
Marble is 6'1", 225-pound senior for the Spartans. Spread formation, double slot for Jane. Jane 2 steps back, throws it out to the flat. Dylan Button catches the ball after a short gain.
Quickly brought down by Mike Lima.
The catch was by number 24, Dylan Button, after a short gain. Third down and 4.
Dylan Button. Darian Kimball on the tackle.
We figured out who number 24 is on the Sabres. Not on the roster, but he's certainly in the game, Dylan Button.
Thank you to our viewer who commented, Dylan Button.
Jane keeping it himself, off tackle to the right, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, is tackled hard from behind, but not before he picks up the first down. Once again, Owen Marble does the dirty work at the end of that play, but the Sabres are moving the chains, pick up a first down, ball spotted just outside the Spartan 21-yard line.
Ball is on the 21-yard line, first and 10 for these Sabres.
Jane takes the snap, gives to Lawhorn. Lawhorn strung out to the left side, turns the corner, missed tackle by Waller. Short gain for Lawhorn before he's brought down by number 4, Darian Kimball.
And that's just a bad angle taken there by Waller. He was there to make the play. He made a good read, just didn't take a great angle to be there for the tackle.
The no-huddle offense by the Sabres, where the players just stand on the field in their position, get the play call from the sideline. Pace of play has picked up here in the second half. Jane takes the snap. Inside pitch again to Maroon. Maroon running hard up the middle. It's interesting how the Sabres run that play. They stand everybody up basically thinking it's going to be a sweep action or whatever, and then Jane just gives a little inside pitch to big fullback Mike Maroon, who turns the corner basically inside the tackle, and with his size and speed, he's able to get past the first line of defenders and pick up a nice gain.
And it looks like it's almost designed to be a draw. You see the Souhegan offensive line stand up and pass set until that pitch gets tossed inside for him to then double down and run block for him.
Exactly right. Little draw action. It's not a traditional draw, but it has that same effect. Little timeout on the field. I think there was an injured Spartan player. The officials blew the play dead to allow the player to get off the field. First and goal from the 7. Jane takes the snap, looking to the left side. He's flush from the pocket, rolling to his left now, still scrambling, makes the sideline, turns it up, gets to the goal line. Touchdown. Souhegan Sabres. They capitalize on their onside kick recovery, march the ball down the field, pad their lead 26-0 here at the 8:49 mark of the third quarter.
What do you think the odds are here that they kick another onside kick?
What we've been saying this entire game is you continue to run the plays until the Spartans show they can defend them, and they haven't been able to show that they can defend against anything, and so you may well see that.
Going for 2 here to make up for the missed extra point.
Direct snap to Maroon, running hard up the middle. He is into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. Makes the score 28-0. Souhegan Sabres serving notice not only to the fans here in Milford, but to the entire division that they are ready to play football in this shortened pandemic-shortened season. And they're letting their counterparts up in Bow and Kennett and Plymouth that they are going to be a team to reckon with in the playoffs.
And what a season this has been for Souhegan. Last week knocking off a Division I team in Bishop Girton, and now coming out here and putting up these type of numbers against Milford so far, and then the 20-0 lead in the first week against Halls Brookline. So,
not to take anything away from Souhegan, but let's be real. Bishop Girton is 0-2 on the season. They're in a rebuilding mode, but still to play up a division and knock off a Division I team, good for anybody at this Division II level.
Definitely. You know, looking at the Spartans team here, you can't help but feel like a lot of this could have been helped had they not been down that their captain, senior, in running back and linebacker, in Zielinski.
Caden Zielinski posted a $122 in tough running yards against the Cavaliers, and when paired with Logan Barnhill in the backfield, gave the Spartans a nice 1-2 punch and a change of pace back for head coach Keith Jones, but not available tonight. And not available for the rest of the season.
And he was their signal caller on defense as well. He was the middle linebacker.
He ran the defense, exactly right.
So to not have that as well, you're hurting on both sides of the ball with the absence of Caden Zielinski.
So here come the Sabres lining, they're in their huddle right now for the kickoff. Back deep for the Spartans, Darian Kimball.
5 on each side. Looks like they're not going to try that onside kick again.
28-0. That would be a very interesting
might see a brawl on the field.
Play. Well, maybe not tonight, but the kick is away. The ball is coming down to Kimball on the right hash mark. He reverses field, coming up over to the right side, left sideline, where he's met and tackled at about the 18-yard line.
The kick was fielded by Darian Kimball.
So here we go again with the Milford Spartan offense. They have to prove they can run the ball. They have to demonstrate that they have the ability to do what Coach Jones wanted to do, which is run clock. I know they're down 28-0. This game may be out of reach unless they can score quickly, but you still want to build for your next game. They'll be traveling to Pelham in a week.
And for the sake of pride, too.
A lot of pride here playing at home.
Against the rival, Souhegan.
Flexbone offense in place for the Spartans. Erda gives to, I believe that's Gann up the middle. Short gain, actually not even brought down yet. Forward progress stopped by the interior defensive line of the Sabres.
I think the unnoticed difference maker here on both sides of the ball has, like I said earlier in the game, has been the linemen on both sides of the ball for both teams. You know, the
big number 77, Dexter Healy, just taking up space from his nose guard position, defensive tackle position.
And the Spartans unable to put an answer up to him.
Erda under center. Again gives to the fullback, Gann. Gann getting a steady diet of dive plays up the middle and picks up about 5. That'll bring up a third down and short. Third down in inches now for the Spartans.
This could be the first down for the Spartans in a long while here in this game.
They converted 2 on their first drive, haven't converted any since. Spartans out in their traditional flexbone offensive formation. The give is to the up back, but he has stood up and did not get it. No first down, snuffed out by the Sabres.
Oh, they're giving it to him based off forward progress.
Forward progress. Tough angle from us here in the booth.
Yes, so.
Late signal from the officials. Our viewers at home on the monitor probably had a better look at it than our vantage point here in the booth. Milford Spartans pick up a first down. Big first down for them.
For the first time since the first quarter.
7:07 remaining in the third quarter. 28-0 is your score. Here come the Spartans with first down. Darian Kimball split to the right. Barnhill in the halfback position. Erda looking to pass, does so, connects to, almost connected with Barnhill. I said he connected because he had it in his hands, just couldn't hold on.
Barnhill was incomplete.
Short pass from Erda to Barnhill falls incomplete. That brings up a 2nd and 10.
Heard the footsteps of Reese Colby coming behind him and couldn't reel it in.
The thundering footsteps of Reese Colby. That does something that head coach Jones does not like to see. Stops the clock. I know he's down 28-0, but
he just loves to keep the clock moving.
Absolutely. Barnhill in motion, quick pass to Kimball in the flat. He's picked up about 6, maybe 7, depending on the spot. So good little quick hitter to Kimball. Kind of mirrors the play that the Sabres have been running all night. Austin Jane to Luke Manning. Kind of a screen pass. First time Spartans have been successful with that. 5-yard gain brings up 3rd and about 5.
A short gain and brought down pretty quickly by Mitch Hauser for the Sabres, but still managed to pick up 5 yards and make this a far more manageable third down.
Ball spotted inside the Spartan 35. Kimball now to the top of the screen right. Santos switches sides, left to right. Sabres adjusting as well. Erda looking to pass. Tucks it, tries to get to the sideline, does so, does not get the first down though. Pushed out of bounds there by the Sabres. Nathan Fritz and company.
And it looks like Keith Jones would keep the offense on the field here.
4th down and a long 5, maybe 4.
The ball is on their own 36-yard line.
Spartans keep their offense on the field, at least for now. Although with Erda, your quarterback and your punter, anything could happen here, I suppose.
Very true. Maybe try to catch them off guard and try switching up the punt. Do a little pooch punt.
Well, they're coming up under center.
Makes it a little hard.
Looks like they're going to run a play. 4th and 4. Cody in motion. Erda back to pass. He's wrapped up in the backfield. Has not tackled yet, though. Throws the ball downfield, intended for Kimball. Falls into the Sabre bench. And the Sabres will take over on downs here. 5:47 remaining in the third quarter. Sabres up 28-0. Spartan defense back on the field, giving the Sabres a short field once again.
If you got a young quarterback here, as an offensive lineman, you have to give him as much time as you possibly can. He's a little bit lower and a little bit slower on his decision-making because he's lacking in experience, and so to give him only the very, very few seconds he had there to make a judgment call and throw the ball away, it's so hard for such a young sophomore quarterback who's still so new to this offense.
That would be tough for any quarterback because he doesn't have time to make any reads downfield. Jane gives to Lawhorn. Lawhorn off tackle right, running free in the secondary. He's into the end zone. Souhegan Sabres score on one play on this possession.
Up the middle for a touchdown.
34-0 is now your score. Riley Lawhorn.
What's the running clock? That's what I thought.
This is a heck of a team. The Sabres are going to be a tough out in the playoffs, and at least from this division, probably go into the playoffs as the team to beat.
Definitely. Almost as if the Spartans from last year.
Lawhorn looks to put it up, does so, boots it through. Extra point is good. 35-0 is your score. 5:38 remaining in the third quarter. We're going to step aside for just a minute, bring it back for the next kickoff.
The score is Souhegan 35, Spartan 0.
Milford Spartan Field, home of the Milford Spartans. It's a quiet crowd here in the stadium. 35-0 is the score. Souhegan Sabres set to kick off with a 35-point spread under high school rules. The clock will run. Kickoff deep to Waller. Waller collects it on the hash mark, moving to the left sideline, and is tackled and pushed out of bounds by Reese Colby, where the Spartans will take over on offense.
Reese Colby on the stop for the Sabres.
And if you're at this point here for the Spartans, if nothing else, you're playing for pride. Don't get shut out here at your own home stadium against your rivals in a season that you had to fight for. You don't want to just kind of keep this shutout going. You want to at least put something up, right?
We will be playing with a running.
Spartans have a 1-0 record coming into the game. Looks like they're going to drop to 1-1. The Souhegan Sabres is going to improve to 3-0. Pelham. Pelham will be the next opponent for the Milford Spartans. Granite Town Media is in negotiations to bring that game to you on the road. Does not look good at this time, though. Check the website, check the Facebook page during the week, and we'll let you know for sure.
Another quick handoff, not gaining too many yards for the Spartans, which seems to be the trend of this entire game. That offensive line just not getting the push that the Spartans need, especially with the lack of Zielinski there to get those extra yards.
Yards after contact, so important. And Riley Lawhorn and the Sabres have been able to pick up a lot of yardage after initial contact. Milford Spartans, not so much. 2nd and 8, ball spotted on the Spartan 24. Santos on the switch. The give is to Gann up the middle. He's met immediately by the Sabre defensive line and is actually probably pushed back, maybe got a little forward progress. Excuse me, that's Cloutier. Cloutier on the carry.
Cloutier on the carry. For the Spartans. No gain on the play.
If you ask me, the MVP of this game so far has been that Sabres defensive line as a unit.
Fritz on the tackle for the Sabres.
Freshman Cade Cloutier on the carry. Head coach Jones probably going to be looking to get a lot more of his younger players in, get them some game time, get them some experience at varsity speed and contact.
And keep some of your starters healthy and safe to get ready for next week.
Erda rolling to his right, stops, looks to pass, now tucks it and goes. He's got the first down met and spun down by
Charlie Erder on the run.
spun down by number 25, Mitch Hauser.
And Nathan Fritz.
35-yard line, and it is good.
Erda looking to roll to his right, looking to throw the ball. Pocket, yeah, not even the pocket, but the defense closed in on him, and he decided to tuck it and go.
Picking up the biggest gain for the Spartans here today.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line as the clock continues to run here on game number 2 in this early season for the Milford Spartans. Erda gives it up the middle. I believe it's Cloutier. Freshman with the carry. Picks up a yard, maybe 2.
Cloutier on the carry. Gain of about 2 yards. Michael Brown on this stop.
They just cannot get that running game going.
It will be 2nd and 8. The ball's
However, running that dive play on first down does pick up a couple of yards, and that's something the Spartans got away from in the second quarter and early in the third quarter. I think Keith Jones has just simply gone back to his bread and butter, trying to keep his plays simple, trying to run plays that his offense knows and knows well. Building for the future with this young Spartan team. Full backfield for our Erda. He gives it to the second man, Barnhill. Barnhill is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard of forward progress.
Nathan Fritz leading the pack of Sabres there in for the tackle. And this Sabres defense here just not letting off the gas.
There was no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Ball spotted at the Spartan 37-yard line.
7-yard line.
Clock continues to run. This will be a quick third quarter, probably a quick fourth quarter as well. Here's what I'll be interested to see. Do the Sabres come out in the fourth quarter with possession of the ball and continue to throw the ball? Or do they feed Riley Lawhorn and Big Mike Maroon and run clock?
Or do they even keep their starters on the field at this point?
Erda back to pass
Intercepted.
intended for Barnhill, intercepted though by the Sabres, Reese Colby. Reese Colby's been all over the field tonight. So that interception will turn the ball over to the Sabres in Spartan territory once again. Have to wonder if we get the civil engineers out to this field, would they say that it's tilted in favor of the Sabres? Because the Sabres have gotten the ball in Spartan territory most of the night.
Absolutely. And it's hard to score as the Spartans offense if you just can't keep possession of the ball.
Ball's on the Spartan 43. Spread formation for the Sabres. Jane still in his shotgun formation.
Keeping the starters on the field here.
The give is to the tailback. That's number 25, Mitch Hauser.
Flag coming flying in.
He's thrown for a loss, but there is a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play.
Most of the starters are in for the Sabres, but 25, Mitch Hauser on the carry. We'll see what happens on the penalty here, waiting for the adjudication. A lot of pointing, gesticulating. Personal foul, face mask on the Spartans. Spartans had been able to keep away from the penalties most of the night. Most of the penalties tonight have been against the Sabres, but that penalty will be marched off against the Spartans.
6 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Went by pretty quick. And it does not appear that the Sabres offense is going to stop. They're just going to keep on going.
We do see a cast of new characters on the on offense for the Sabres. Jane's still in at quarterback, but we're seeing new receivers, new running back. Timeout on the field. Not sure who took it. The penalty ended the quarter We're going to flop ends of the field. When we come back, the Spartans are down 35-0 here as we start the fourth quarter of play at Spartan Field on Granite Town Media.
So how long is it going to take to play 12 minutes? 12 minutes.
Ball's on the 33-yard line. It'll be first and 10.
Ball spotted on the 33-yard line of the Milford Spartans. Jane takes the snap. The give is to number 18, Jake Savillo. Excuse me, check that number 16, Ryder Florence, sophomore for the Sabres.
I think it's an interesting choice here to leave your starting quarterback on the field.
Gain of about 9 yards on the play.
When your backup quarterback is also your best wide receiver, though, you want to keep them both healthy.
Very true.
Quick handoffs, inside handoffs, keep your quarterback in. He hasn't been touched really all night except when he's run the ball. Jane takes the snap, gives it again to Florence. Florence is immediately met in the backfield by Ben Kilgore. Loss of about a yard, maybe 2 on the play.
In on the tackle for the Spartans.
Third and about 6 maybe.
Along with Alfonso Luco.
Ball is now at the Spartan 28-yard line.
Looks like the Spartans have a backup quarterback warming up here on the sideline.
Jane, shotgun, spread formation again. Reynolds was in motion. He takes the pitch from Jane. Nice run from Stephen Reynolds, the second, sophomore wide receiver, defensive back, sophomore for the Sabres. 18 sophomores on this Souhegan Sabre team. The future looks very bright for this program if they stick with head coach Robin Boquette. 14 seniors, 3 juniors, 18 sophomores. A couple of freshmen mixed in there as well. Clock running here with a 35-point spread. Souhegan Sabres looking to use the clock, run the clock, continue to move the ball, do so with Ryder Florence, sophomore running back.
And ensure the clock keeps moving. Now, because if the Spartans score here, then we come off of the running clock.
That
would affect a lot of people's reservations for late dinners tonight. And although if it was a close competitive game, nobody would mind. At 35-0, however, I'm thinking a lot of folks are looking for a nice late warm dinner to warm up on a cold, crisp fall evening. New quarterback in for the Sabres, number 5, is David Reith. He's a senior. On the pitch is Reynolds. Reynolds trying to string the play out to the left side. Brought down by a host of Spartan tacklers.
For the Sabres. Gain of a couple of yards on the play.
3rd and 6 now, upcoming for the Sabres.
6 for the Sabres.
Interesting that the Sabres switched quarterbacks in the middle of the drive. But to your point, got their senior quarterback, he of the golden arm, off the field, trying to avoid injury and so forth. Reynolds up the middle, takes the inside handoff. Reynolds playing the role of Riley Lawhorn. Not quite the same, though, as Riley Lawhorn, giving up a lot of size.
Up the middle for a very short gain. It'll be 4th.
Short gain up the middle, 4th down upcoming for the Sabres.
For the Sabres. Cade Cloutier on the stop.
Clock is running, 8:25 remaining in the game.
For the Sabres.
David Reith, shotgun formation. Hands the ball off to Stephen Reynolds. Reynolds turns the corner to the right side.
Not sure if he got the first down, though.
From our perspective here, it appears that he has. First down for the Sabres.
First and goal.
That'll be first and goal. We'll determine the spot. It's got to be inside the 10-yard line, though. Looks to be about the 6, maybe 7.
It'll be first and goal for the Sabres from the Spartan 6-yard line.
Once again, a spread formation, empty backfield for David Reith. Oh, I take that back. He did have one runner offset. He fakes it to him. He goes up the middle, close to the touchdown, close to the goal line. He did not get in.
It'll be second and goal.
Reith had a nice inside fake handoff to Reynolds and then kept that himself. Running off the guard, off the right guard. Now he goes with Reynolds to his right. Give is to Reynolds. He's going to turn the corner and step into the end zone. He's tackled there, but not before he scores. Souhegan Sabres score once again.
Adding to their lead. Ensuring that the clock will stay a running clock until the Spartans could put up 2 scores.
Through 2 and 3/4 games, the Souhegan Sabres have given up exactly 7 points on this season. They blanked the Cavaliers. They appear to be blanking the Spartans. 41-0 is your score. They gave up 7 points to a Division I team in Bishop Guertin. Very impressive performance by the Souhegan Sabres tonight. Lawhorn and Manning back in for the extra point. Manning to hold, Lawhorn to kick. A lot of confusion on the sideline as we are shuffling. Sabres are shuffling a bunch of new players in on special teams. Snap, hold, kick, up, good. 42-0 is your score with 7:02 remaining in the game. The Milford Spartans learning a lot of lessons tonight.
Yes.
Head coach Keith Jones is going to have a lot to talk about with his team, but knowing Coach Jonesy, he's probably going to say, we're not even going to watch this film.
Yeah.
Jonesy might just well say,
we all know what happened.
Throw it away. Let's do practice our game and get back to work next week when they travel to Pelham.
Definitely. And from a Souhegan standpoint, for Coach Boquette, there's still so much that Souhegan could clean up based off this game. The amount of penalties.
Just penalties alone.
The lack of discipline. There's so much more that they can still clean up. And you wouldn't even believe that if you just looked at this 42-0 score. But I don't think that the Souhegan's head coach is walking away from this game with a smile on his face either. He'll enjoy the win, be happy that they walked away here with the lead. But I don't think he's jumping for joy after this game.
This is called a coach's win because he wins both ways. They win the game, but he has a lot of talking points for his athletes all next week.
And again, you can't help but wonder with such a young team in Souhegan that a lot of these penalties and these little discipline and nitty-gritty things to clean up probably could have already been cleaned up by now had they had a preseason.
Lack of live contact and live hitting probably had a direct impact on that as well. Some new return men for the Spartans. Liam Daly is center of the field. Cloutier is to the right. Trice Cody on the top of the screen to the left. Kicker is Riley Lawhorn. I don't think he's going to try an onside kick here.
That would be interesting.
Steps into it. However, it was whistled dead before the play got off.
The play was whistled dead.
I'll wait for the call from the official here. Waiting an indication. So Riley Lawhorn will step back in and booted away again. Play was whistled dead. It appears that a member of the officiating crew was not ready for the start of play. Everybody seems ready now. Here we go with the kickoff. Lawhorn steps into it. Kicks it over to Cloutier. Cloutier cannot handle it cleanly. Picks it up at about the 2-yard line, moving up the the right sideline. But he's met there and dropped
immediately by Maddox McGrath. What a good tackle. And, you know, without the scrimmages and everything like that, for these younger guys, the guys that aren't getting as much playing time, this is big for them. This is time for them to prove their stuff, prove their worth, and maybe try to get more time earlier in the game before you're up by this much. So this is a lot of proving ground for both teams here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Spartans have a young team as well. 19 sophomores on their roster as well. So both of these teams looking to restock over the next year or two. But right now, the Souhegan Sabres, they don't need to restock anything. They are serving notice to the state of New Hampshire that they are ready to play this season. The give is to the second man through. That is number 41, Mike Lima, the freshman on the carry. Nice gain for the freshman.
Another one of the rather larger ones for the Spartans here today.
About a 6 yard, maybe 7 yard gain for
7-yard gain on the play.
For Lima. We are debating the pronunciation of his last name here in the booth. Lima. We're not really sure, but as a freshman over the next couple years, I'm sure we'll figure that out. New quarterback in for the Spartans, freshman Harris Jones. No gain on that play, brings up a 3rd and 4.
Jones is in as the Spartans' new quarterback.
.502 remaining in the fourth quarter of play.
You know, for me as a football guy, this is some football I love to watch because these guys coming into the game right now, they have no other reason to play right now other than the love of the game. Realistically, there's not going to be a comeback here, but they're still stepping on the field simply because they love to play football.
And in the pandemic environment in which we are operating, unlikely to have many JV opportunities. Harris Jones keeps the ball, turns the corner on the right side, but he's met hard there by number 22, Max McGrath again.
Bringing up 4th down here for the Spartans.
Gain of about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down and 1 yard to go for the Spartans.
Clock continues to run. Tick, 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 tick.
Sam LeBlanc on the tackle.
And there is a timeout on the field. Wonder who's calling it. It looks like an official's timeout. Player is down. A Sabre player is down on the far side. So while they tend to the player, we'll step aside here. When we come back, we'll finish the last 4 minutes of play here on Granite Town Media.
We are back here on Granite Town Media. Robert DeFelice here speaking, and wait a second, we have the biggest play for the Spartans on the day here. Number 41 for the Spartans, Mike Lima, a freshman.
Big run for the freshman, brought down by Stephen Reynolds after a long gain. He broke that one, about a 73-yard run. We'll check the math on that.
And you know, as a freshman, Mike Lima's going to go home with a smile on his face simply because of that run.
Spartans again playing for pride here, would like to not get shut out if they can help it. 3:15 remaining in the game. Spartans have great field position. They can still get a first down inside the 10 without scoring.
I think this is the first time that they've even crossed into Souhegan territory all game.
Full house backfield for Harris Jones, running the flexbone offense. The give is to the second man, Lima. Lima It's brought down at the 10-yard line. Nice little run, about a 4-yard run.
Flag coming in. Late penalty flag coming in. Can't help but think that's some sort of personal foul.
We'll wait as the officials sort this out. Secret conversation by the officials as they turn their back to the press box. Ball is on the 9-yard line.
Here's the official with the call, where it looks like he's coming to the sideline to talk to Coach Jones.
Well, this doesn't look good. Masks on as they come closer. Playing for pride, the Milford Spartans looking to score and punch this in and break up the shutout.
Conversation seems to be over with Coach Jones, and now we're left here wondering what's going on.
Ball has not moved. It's still spotted on about the 9-yard line. Nose of it is just touching the 10.
Now it looks like we'll get the signal from the official. The Milford Spartans are backing up. Personal foul against the Spartans. That'll back them up 15 yards on a drive that looked like they might get their first score of the game here. So not something you'd like to see, even though it's not very important time left here in the game, but just for pride to get that one score. And again, that lack of discipline is making things so hard. So many penalty games so far in this game. It's crazy.
Ball now on the 24-yard line, second down and a whole bunch of yardage remaining.
Right, because that penalty, the personal foul, is also a loss of down.
2nd and 20.
So this young Spartan squad looking to get some of this yardage back on a second down play. Jones under center. Lima in motion. Jones back to pass. He's being flushed from the pocket, though. He's going to be tackled from behind. And the ball, he will be considered in the grasp at about the 30-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and even further.
And boy, has that penalty just stalled out this explosive drive for the Spartans. A group of young guys, freshmen, sophomores, coming in on the tail end of the game, just getting a little bit of playing time and put together a really impressive, explosive drive. But now that one penalty really just put a halt to this whole drive. And now they're looking at a 3rd and 25. Excuse me, 3rd and 30.
Full house backfield for Harris Jones under center. The give is to the second man through.
Lima's
again, that's
brought down
Lima,
again.
but he's stopped in the backfield for another loss.
Minute and a half left to go here on that running clock. You're going to go for it here if you're the Spartans.
4 down territory for sure. Nothing to lose.
Maybe toss a pass up in the air, see what'll happen.
They tried to do that on the previous play and got tackled for a loss. It was a design sprint out, and he still got tackled from behind. So
true.
I think there's some fundamental blocking issues that the Spartans are going to have to work on in this next week before they travel over to Pelham to take on the Pythons.
I mean, it's even harder for these freshmen coming in because with an abbreviated preseason for these juniors and seniors, you've at least been in this program and in the system for years, so you come in with some knowledge. But for these freshmen that just got tossed into this program, they had minimal time to learn an entire offense, and now they're on here on a varsity game.
Invaluable experience, though, for these young players, getting some game time in a varsity game. Ethan O'Connor split to the left. Little I formation behind Harris Jones on 4th and forever.
And to give up the middle here. Stopped rather quickly, and that'll be a turnover on downs. And I think the clock will just run out here on this game, and that might do it here.
This has been a production of Granite Town Media. Spartan football will be here with you all season long to bring you the action. Unfortunately, not great action here tonight as the Spartans drop this one 42-0. Clock is running down. We'll look forward to seeing you down the line. Robert DeFelice, thank you for stepping in as our color commentator tonight.
Happy to be here.
Milford Spartan fans, you can travel to Pelham if you're related to one of the players and watch the Spartans take on the Pythons next week. Milford's Granite Town Media probably will not be in attendance that night, but we will be working on bringing you the last game of the season if possible. On behalf of my partner, Robert DeFelice, our camera operator, Granite Town Media Manager, Chris Gentry, I'm Kevin St. Onge saying so long from Spartan Field.
And wait for your son or daughter